guys, well welcome back to another episode. This time we're going down to a new Syndicate water. Obviously show you that when I get down there. But yeah, I haven't been out for a little while as I said before my last video, so we're finally going to get out, going to do a good few nights at this new water now. So yeah, I'll see you down there and I'll tell you some more about the lake when I get down there as well. Alright. Okay then guys, I've finally made it over to my new Syndicate lake. So far so good, it's looking absolutely wicked. Seen a good few fish around, spoken to one of the anglers. He had only a tench last night, but so far it's looking quite good. Down the far end of the lake, give you a little show of that later on. But so far over here there's 4 lakes in the entire Syndicate. Really cheap as well, which I'm quite happy about. And yeah, got some absolutely stunning fish in here. Carp up to 40, there's a nice common in there, pitcher's 45. Good out of 30s as well, nice few 20s. And of course a few lower single figured fish, but they're just growing on of course for the future generation. But yeah, 2 rods out at the moment, got everything nicely set up. Got down a bit later than I hoped to. Was going to approach it with some maggots on one of the rods, but fortunately I forgot my credit card, so on the boilies still, but doesn't really matter. Trying to get a new bait of course acquired into a lake, so just fishing both on the snowman rigs. I'll try and show you them later on as well and talk you through the spots I'm fishing. Okay then guys, just been trying to do a bit of baiting up. For the first night I'm just going to put a kilo of bait out and see how that goes, you know, just over pretty much 1 rod. I mean, it's just a 2 rod rule over here, but I thought I'd have 1 rod fishing off of the baited area, and obviously 1 on it. So it does give you a lot more to focus on when you've got 2 rods of course. You ain't got to worry about a 3rd rod sort of thing, but definitely prefer 3 rods at the end of the day. But at the moment it's looking alright. I haven't really seen any signs of fish, but I thought I'd quickly show you where I'm positioning my rods. If I just poke down on the screen here, where this first couple of seagulls are more or less, found quite a nice little 8-foot silt trough all around it. There's quite a lot of choddy weed out there, and you've got more or less 5 foot in places, 2 foot, and even a foot, you know, as it comes up the bank a bit. But seems like quite a nice little gully out there, quite clean, quite smooth. So I thought I'd of course fish a snowman on that. Nice little carp craze mesh stick bag. What I'm doing is got a load of the maple boilies, around 3/4 of a kilo, blitzed them up in the food processor with a little bit of rock salt. So I hope for that. And then obviously they just came out the freezer fresh as well, so they've soaked in a lot of the salt and hopefully given it a bit more of a mineralised taste to it really for the carp to try and hunt down, as it is getting colder and colder at the moment. And for left down rod, yeah, it's just fishing literally not far out at all. So around this zone out here. So not too far away from the other rod, but as I said, keeping it away from the baited area. And once again fishing a snowman as well on that, with a little carp craze stick mix, boilie crumb mesh mix in that as well. So yeah, it's not looking too bad. Also I was going to say, fishing one on a pink fluoro, sort of washed out pink, and the other rod on a matching pop-up for the maple boilies. So yeah, going to crack on there and try and get more bait out there as soon as these seagull scarper, and yeah, be in for the night. So it's now 4:45. Obviously we're just still out there, still waiting for them seagulls to bugger off and get a bit of bait out. Yeah, spoke to one of the regulars over here, said there's a good out of 30s in, as I mentioned earlier on, and there's a couple of 40s in this one in particular. There's another one over here, much harder lake, sort of same size as well, around 4 acres, maybe a bit more, and that one contains around 6 40s in there. But as I said, it's a lot less fish in there, and of course bigger the fish I always find the wiser it normally gets. So no, unless it's like an absolute pig nuts troughing bait. But yeah, from what I've heard over there, it is you've got a sort of prime spot, so that's what we're trying to do over in this water. Left my last Syndicate now, almost, still got a ticket going on it, but it's absolutely dead at the moment. Did say I wasn't out for a little while, but in fact did manage to squeeze a couple of sessions in over there. Both of them absolutely pointless, you know. We've had a few fish out of the easier lake, nothing big, but on the hard water, literally shut up shop now. A few fish have been coming out now and again, but there's a parasite actually in there at the moment as well, just come back, and yeah, it isn't doing any of the fish very many favours, you know. So I thought I'd pull off of that for now. Might come back there in the spring, but at the moment this Syndicate lake water over here, absolutely awesome, and yeah, can't wait to do a bit of time over here now. fish are definitely in this lake I'm fishing right now to catch. There seems to be quite a large head of fish they put in here, around 300 fish. Absolutely mint fish as well. So yeah, it's looking quite good. But be over on the hard lake over here, as I said, springtime when it's probably going to kick into action. Winter time, as a lot of people have said over here, it does close up. So I'm just going to consistently, obviously, bait up over there in a couple of spots, and hopefully a couple of the nice commons will be rewarded for myself in the springtime. But yeah, for now I'm going to put some dinner on next before it gets too dark, and then hopefully be able to bait up. Alright then guys, well, first night's just passed. Nothing really happened last night. Had a couple show down this way, but down to my right hand side, so there's another swim next to me and there's another one further on from that. No one's fishing them, so I've got this entire one to myself pretty much. There's only one other angler I think on the lake, in fact, so pressure wise it's quite good. This lake does get quite busy during the summer times, I'd say. From what I've seen over here, came down like a month ago and it was quite packed, but at the moment all the fair-weather fishermen seem to have retired and obviously sitting at home and indoors. So yeah, got an entire bank to myself. Had a few liners last night on one of my spots, but yeah, left-hand rod. Last night I literally just died out there on a longer rig, try and overcome some of the weed. But yeah, I wasn't really fishing in the same mindset. Obviously it is 2 rods, so you want to make sure both rods are in good position. So this morning I had a little lead around and quickly spin you around. Down in front of this willow tree, hang on, try and clear away some of this condensation. In front of this willow tree, there's sort of 2 trees either side of me. There's an old oak tree as well, and just in front of this, pretty much all the way along, there's a nice little gully. Found it to be around 8 to 9 foot in depth, so it's nice and deep. Nice little silt trough. So yeah, that's what I'm doing out there now. Then what I've done at the moment, one of the rods is already in, and what I've done is put it onto a choddy and just wanged it out towards the reed line. Sun sort of rises over in the south now, and straight away that reed line seems to get quite a bit of heat, and so does the far bank as well. So for obviously, yeah, stick one of the fluoros over there using the Retro Baits Super Fruit fluoros. So they seem to be doing the business on quite a few lakes that I've been on recently, doing the snowman rigs, and yeah, hopefully something's going to come off of that. Just using a little size 8 naked chod rig. So yeah, hopefully sooner or later that might go off. But from what I've seen, there hasn't been loads of activity, so I reckon the fish are just probably shoaling up, sitting in a deeper water sort of thing. So yeah, we'll see tonight probably if I can't get a bite, but hopefully during the day, with this sun persevering the way it is, it might encourage a couple of fish to come up to the shallower end and rest up in the weed and by the side of the reeds. But one thing I'd say about all reeds in winter time is obviously they act as two things: a sanctuary of warmth, and B, like most couple always know, is security in them. Obviously, if you ever do hook one, most likely it's going to be one of the places where they're going to head, either there or snags or weed beds, you know. That's it's definitely a sanctuary for carp holding up, you know. Any lake I've ever been to, obviously, reeds seem to always hold carp, you know. Obviously, they always patrol them, and yeah, good little food source for them in there as well. So yeah, so that's what that rod is at the moment. Not too close, around a rod length off of them, but yeah, we'll see how that goes anyway. Alright then guys, just quickly before I flick this rod out, it's going to be going onto the little silt trough that I found out there. As I said, around 8 foot in depth, so good bit of deep water ready for these fish. Lake isn't too deep in fact, so down in one of the ends where it's quite shallow by the reeds, it's around 3 foot, but in this little gully, just managed to find it. As I said, 8 foot in depth, so hopefully nice little hold up hole for some of these carp to get into. But this is the rig. Obviously, little snowman set up here, little carp cray stick mesh, using the maple in all of this, also using some of the hemp oil. In fact, from Sainsbury's you can get it. I think it's around £6 a bottle. Awesome stuff. Obviously, it doesn't sort of get too viscousy in the colder days, and yeah, I think it's a real winner. So put a bit of that in there, a little bit of crushed rock salt as well, and that's a business end as well here. Got a simple lead clip system once again, using the Lean Leads 1.5 ounce square pear lead in camo green. Blends in really nicely in any silty lake bed or any weedy lake bed, of course. So yeah, I'm going to put this out there now. But also forgot to mention, nowadays what I'm also doing is using fluorocarbon leaders, doing around 3 turns onto the spool. Just acts as more of a safety method more than anything. Pins everything down as well quite nicely. But so if you do get into a big fish in it, obviously it gets your weed up or something like that. You've got a bit more pull, and yeah, might have stand a better chance sort of getting in and into the net sort of thing. But yeah, I'm going to put this one out there now onto the spot. So I'll show you guys that now. Alright then folks, well both rods are out now for the night. Left the rods on a chod rig, repositioned that in around 6 foot of water, just behind a weed bed. So hoping that's going to pick something up. Been told over it's quite a good spot. I was going to fish off the end of this willow tree, which is quite deep still, but what I'm going to do, persevere, trickling in a few boilies here and then just literally squeeze them in half, break them in half, and dotting them around down there. But yeah, hopefully I want to get down to the tackle shop and get some maggots tomorrow as well. So I might change my odds a bit, so I might have a few fish out of here. There is a fair few tension here and bream as well, so they're a bit of a nuisance. But end of the day, fish is a fish, and wouldn't mind a few tench, you know. Haven't had a few for a little while, so it would be quite nice. But yeah, right on rods in that little trough. So yeah, hoping that's going to pick something up sooner or later. Going to put around a dozen baits over each rod now. Obviously did put a kilo or so, but boilies out as well. But most of the bird life in here seems to wipe that out, especially this morning. So yeah, see how things are going away, and I'll hopefully update you guys during the night or in the morning. Alright then guys, so it's now tonight will be the third night. Last night nothing happened. I was down the far end. This morning decided to move down here. Although it is a northerly wind, northwesterly, it is still quite cold. It's probably one of the coldest winds you could probably get. But the fish do seem to be up here more in their numbers. Did see one last night as well down that end, but it just seems so quiet down there. There's quite a lot of oil as well. I don't know where it's come from. I'm the only person on here right now. Well, saying that, mate's just arrived as well, so he's over here. So there's only 2 of us on this lake. Looking around, haven't really seen loads of activity, as I said, down that end, so I thought I'd definitely favour my chances down here in the last swim down this end as well. So I've got a nice snaggy line all along the bank in front of me. So what I'm going to do in a minute, I'm going to have a little edge round, try and find a nice little spot, and yeah, position a couple of rods. Going to head to the tackle shop again in a minute as well, pick up a few pints of maggots, see how they fare. Hopefully I'll pick up something. But yeah, still going to pursue with a boilie as well, obviously, on one of the rods. But I thought I'd give something else a little go, and hopefully bag a fish soon. Alright then guys, just in my third night last night, quite uneventful once again. Didn't really see many signs of fish, but thought a change of scenery might incur a bite, but unfortunately nothing really persevered from that. So well, yesterday went down to the tackle shop, got a few bits, mainly maggots. So I quickly thought I'd show you my maggot rig. I thought it was going to work yesterday, but obviously I've still got a couple more nights ahead of me, so still time to try it out and see if it works. But here's the rig. Simple combi rig. Obviously normally attach a bit of putty there, just taking it off for the moment. But yeah, what I got, simple gardener mugger, covert, size 8, and a bit of carp grade shrink tube in here just to give it a nice kicking movement. A couple of pieces of silicone just to support everything. Underneath there, of course, you can see retro baits, super fruit, pink pop up there, washed out, and then above that I've got a little ring where I've attached all my maggots together, and where the pop up's just being supported so it doesn't slide off. So obviously all that presentation sits nicely off the deck, like so. Normally attach a little PVA, carp grade PVA mesh bag full of maggots as well. Put that out there. That's what I did last night. Put a couple of extra bags out as well, but had a few knocks now and again. I wasn't totally sure if there were birds or not. Couldn't really see much last night. It was pitch black over here. So this morning I did see a few there around. But by the looks of this corner, there are quite a few birds, and they do come quite close in. So I'm hoping it might encourage a carp as well. That's one thing I've often found of a lot of waters, where often you find bird life, you'll often find the carp as well. They find it as like a way of knowing if there are anglers, lines around. The birds might often get caught out first, but then again, saying that, you can see a tufty or a coot dive down onto a spot one day, and all of a sudden bolt back up again and start darting off in another direction. Obviously that's a good indication that there's something down there. Obviously primarily it could be a carp, it could be a pike, but
9 times out of 10 I'd say it could well be a carp, and yeah, hopefully they're feeding down there. So little indications in your watercraft can always aid you in your fishing. So what I'm going to do, I'll show you guys where I'm fishing as well later on, and yeah, then I'll go from there. I'll probably bring the rods in a little while, give them a little rest, and yeah, I want to see how that goes. Okay guys, this is the swim that I'm fishing. It's the furthest one along this bank. Obviously you've got the northerly blowing right down into this corner, but at the moment of course it's not too aggressive at all. It did pick up yesterday a little bit, but from what I can see over here of course, by them snags, it's all quite calm and still, so it's probably a definite little hidey hole where the carp could be getting into. Left hand rod, just off this tree out here, there's a branch that just comes right out, so I've got one right down there. It's around 11 foot of water down there. Obviously it was finding down in the bay that I was in before, it was around 8 foot of water, so come down there it's even deeper, you know. This lake is all over the place. In the centre it seems quite shallow, and in the margins of course you're getting quite a lot of depth, especially down this end you're getting your depths down to 11, 12 foot, you know, so good bit of water here. And then the right hand rod, which is still out at the moment, just down here to the right side of me. Give you a quick little show. Yeah, down here to the right side of me of course you've got all these snags. It's just that here I put a good dozen or so 12mm bottom baits and a couple of 15mm just crushed up. So that's what I'm fishing my right hander over. I'm just using two little 12mm back to back sort of thing. Might show you that rig later on as well, but yeah, nice and simple, just KD style. But yeah, as you can see, it's a little bit of a breeze down this side. The rest of the lake just seems quite still, you know. So going to persevere obviously, and really going to flick this maggot rod back out again and see if I can't get a bite on it. Alright then guys, well, it's now morning, tonight's going to be my 5th night. A bit disheartened really, I haven't had a fish yet, haven't even had a run sort of thing, so yeah, I've been told that this place does switch on and off. It can really fish quite well sometimes, but now and again of course you do get it when it just shuts down completely. This time of year obviously the fish is just getting used to the cold, is to be expected apparently over here, but I've been told as well, Blake said to me the smallest he's had out of here is £17, and other than that they've all been 20s, high 20s, low 20s, and he's had a few 30s as well, he's been saying to me. So there are a very, very good head of decent 20s in there as well, obviously, as I said. So yeah, hopefully it's gonna turn out sooner or later. Last night tonight, so hopefully I'm gonna try and change a few things around and try and bag a bite. But what I'm gonna do, right hand rod, haven't had any touches off it at all, so I thought I'd reposition it, change the rig over as well, and fish a bit further along the snaggy margin over here. But I've got 1.5 ounce Linny Lead's distance lead, nice and stealthy, nice and quiet as it hits the water. Using some jelly wire, around 6-7 inches. Obviously it's the coated variety, really does sink down nicely. I think it's got a fluorocarbon coating I read somewhere, so absolutely wicked stuff, nice and supple as well. At the same time it does have quite a bit of stiffness. So down to the busiest end of course, little size 8 Fox, I think it's the SSC. I'm not sure at the moment, but yeah, wicked little chud hooks they make. Obviously using one of the orange, the bait's called, by Retro Baits. Absolutely, it smells like Terrier's chocolate oranges, as I might have mentioned before. Thought I'd try something a little different, put that out there, scatter a few of the maple in 12mm sizes over this rod. But yeah, gonna plant it along the snaggy margin still. Have 2 rods in that area, so yeah, hopefully it's going to bag me a bite. So I'm going to get that out there now, and then sit on it for the rest of the day and the rest of the night, I guess. now 3 o'clock. Got the rods out now once again. Did give my swim a little rest, gave it for like half hour to an hour. Throughout the session that I've been over here, I've been giving my swim like a 4 or 5 hour rest most of the days, but for this session I'm just going to try and keep the rods in as long as I can and see if I can't get a bite. Obviously, it's when they're fishing, the longer your rods are out there, the more chance you're going to stand to a degree, but then again, saying that, if you change your rods now and again to a new location, you can pick up a bite. That is normally the case anyway on the heavily stocked waters, obviously. If you're normally never going to be far away from a fish, but just changing that location, probably changing the presentation as well, the fish could just be more intrigued and go for your hook bait. But yeah, as I said, one on the maggots still, and the other one fishing on one of the orange pop-ups by retro baits. So I'm going to see how that goes, and leave them out there now until tomorrow. But I'll be off tomorrow around 1 o'clock sort of time. So yeah, hopefully I might be able to produce, but it is my first session down here now, so I'm going to see how it goes, and it's all just a big learning curve, I must say, over here right now. Just sort of trying to learn the water, learn all the features in here. There isn't loads of stuff, seems to be, as I said, shallow in the middle, and just quite a few silt gullies around the outside, and a couple of bowls here and there, a bit of gravel, but probably going to have a good little lead around tomorrow before I leave, and try and find a few more spots to come back for next time. Shouldn't be too long till I come back here, but yeah, going to see how it goes, and I'll speak to you guys again in the morning. Okay, so morning guys, it's now 7:30. Last night, left-hand rod just pulled straight up to the bobbin by the snags on the Magwell rig, and yeah, produced a lovely 19-pound 4-ounce mirror. Absolutely well over the moon with it. Couldn't believe my luck really. Just got it into the net, thought it was going to hit 20. Obviously didn't do it, but still over the moon with it. Mint fish, brilliant condition. So yeah, I'll show you a little picture of that. But what I'm going to do now, I'm probably going to close the blog off here. So yeah, everyone out there, keep fishing obviously, keep the spirits up. It's going to be a slow one again this winter obviously, but yeah, keep drinking plenty of tea, and yeah, as long as you get the rods out, you stand a good chance. So I'll be back down here again soon, and I'll see you guys again soon then. Cheers for watching guys. Alright then guys, here we go, just as I'm making some breakfast. Left hand rod once again by that snag on the maggots. Does it again, this time, lovely little tench. Give him a £3, 3.5. Lovely stuff. Haven't had a tench in quite a while. Quite pleased to actually see one of these little fellas. Beautiful dark colours, they're definitely getting into their autumn primes now. So yeah, happy days. Let's slip him back and get the rod back out on the spot.